it could be a good segue to our next topic, which is Flutter 4.
Yes.
So previously we saw we saw this this post on the Flutter subreddit talking about Flutter 4. Um, the title was what do you expect from Flutter 4.0? And then the first comment I actually saw was breaking changes. And I gave this a number because I thought it was funny because there will be breaking changes. Um, and that's what you can definitely for sure expect. But in terms of other features, we could look back for as for like Flutter 1, Flutter 2, Flutter 3, like the major version updates. If we look at those, like the changes between the versions, we'll see that Flutter 1.0 is when they made Flutter to be stable, and Flutter 2 is when they introduced web as in part of the stable channel. And Flutter 3 is when they say, oh, desktop platforms are stable. And you see this trend. You see this trend of them just adding platform support. And I don't want to say the main Flutter framework, or I mean, for Flutter mobile. I don't want to say like for Flutter mobile development has been slowing down. Um, but I feel like the 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 focus has been shifting to to trying to support more platforms. And I can't say that I'm the biggest fan for that. I don't. I think we've like exchanged opinions on this, Mitch. But I think you also talked about some of the Flutter is trying to expand on platforms, and that might not be the best thing.
I think,
What's your opinion on
yeah,
that?
I'm, look, I don't know, obviously, I don't know any of the minds of what people in the Flutter team are thinking, but my feeling is that it's for marketing. Like when they want to go,
Mm-hmm.
when they want to like be like, oh, we're on Android, iOS, web, Mac, Linux, desktop. You know what I mean? Like it's like a great marketing. We are true
It's also
cross-platform.
fuchsia.
I'm pretty sure that's what
Yeah.
it's for. But when you actually zoom into it and talk to people that use it, for me, the what I want is I don't me personally, I don't at this point I don't really care too much about desktop support, like or Mac support. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy with the fact that it's really good on mobile, like Android, iOS, and if anything, I just want it to be pretty good on web. Like I just wish
Mm.
like um is what again we talked about this last week, but just slow down, slow down on the expanding to other
Mm.
platforms, and the ones we do have, we should make that quality experience better. Um, and I think that's what some people here are, kind of talking about. A lot of people talking here about the native functionality, right? Like some camera support, or they
Mm.
want like a native Bluetooth plugin.
Yeah.
Is there anything in your experience when you're making your apps? I don't know if you use native functionality like the camera or anything,
Mm.
but is there anything that's really holding you back? Whether that's on Flutter Web
Yeah.
or mobile or anything.
Hmm. Um, there's been camera is definitely a big thing. The app I was working on, Rivals, has this component of a camera, like
Yeah.
you can like check in with a photo. And now the problem here was that there is a Flutter camera plugin, but I wouldn't say it's really well made. It feels it feels like laggy. It feels kind of there's like delays
Hmm.
between operations, and there lacks some like basic functionalities in terms of like focusing,
Hmm.
controlling, um, controlling like Flash. Like you
Ooh.
have to build your own widget, and then you have to build like a lot of like ground just
Hmm.
work just to have those basic functionalities. If you wanna have a custom UI for the camera, if you're okay with just calling the camera out, as a separate page, just using like the system camera page, and that's okay. Like the system camera page is like well made. But if you ever want to have your own camera, like with your own page, with like part of the screen being the
Hmm.
camera, and have some like your own custom
Right.
controls, that could be a big hassle. And Um, and yeah, just the current status quo, at least for the camera plugin, isn't the greatest. But I feel like that's kind of like the price you will have to pay for using a cross-platform solution like Flutter. Is that you will be lacking some native support. And touching on the desktop support you were talking about,
Mm.
Mitch, that you were talking about how you want the web to be better, and you mostly don't care about Flutter desktops for now. I feel like I was at that point until I saw growing support for Flutter desktop, and I thought, okay, I wanted to make a desktop app, so Flutter desktop seems pretty good. So I tried using Flutter desktop, and it wasn't that good.
Mm.
There were some like major problems that are lacking that are not related to native functionalities. Like for example, I talked to you about this, but a text editor, a rich text editor,
Right. Yeah.
is not existing for Flutter in terms of official support. There are a bunch of like third party rich text editors. Um, like I don't want to offend the plug or the package maintainers from them. I think they're doing a great job. I think they are like putting great effort. But I just want to say like I just like let's put it this way, like there are problems that make the experience
Mm.
suboptimal for the users. There's some because like editing text is one of the biggest problems in computer
Right.
science.
Yeah.
Just how you have like thousand different ways to edit text, and you have like there's so many
Mm.
nuances
Yeah.
that user just take for granted,
Yeah.
right? Like there's yeah, there's so much stuff that user takes for granted, and if you don't have them, um, your app would feel bad.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. There's so many things that we take for
Mm,
granted where it's like whether that's on the computer or like yeah, just when you're like when you're selecting certain like yeah, there's so many things that I'm now you say that I'm like yeah, there's so many things you're just taking for granted that you just it's almost in like your muscle memory as a user.
yeah.
And so when you don't have it, you're like, wait, why nothing's
Uh,
not working? Like I can't drag this and copy and paste. But yeah, wait, so how is that text editor, the one that you were mentioning? Like how is it?
okay, yeah, I use different text editors. I tried Flutter
Oh,
Quill.
that's what you're talking about.
I
Yeah, yeah.
tried yeah, and then I tried Visual Editor, I believe. So the guy forked Flutter Quill. By the way, there's a drama going
Oh,
on.
yeah, that's what you.
um, pretty much what happened was that the quill for the Flutter Quill maintainer wasn't happy about how Flutter or how Visual Editor um was forked from Quill and getting attention, and then that was kind of hilarious. And then because from the Flutter Quill licenses, it was written that like you can like anybody can take my software and do whatever they
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
And that's kind of like one of the other topics for open source projects. But anyhow, there's that, and then there was super editor or super list, and there was like some other HTML editors. Like none of them really, none of them are. I'll just have to say none of them are as good as one of those like web editors, one of those like open source web editors, or one of those like already existing like Win32 default system RTF editors that are provided by Microsoft. And that's kind of how you would probably and anybody would probably expect the Flutter status quo would be, is that it is still not mature yet. So yeah, for the viewers, we're really curious of what you guys think. So like please comment out, and please comment on like what you think about or what you expect, what you wish there would be in Flutter
Yeah.
4.
Let us know, and so we can blast it, and then Flutter team can hear it. Um, because just going back to what you were saying about desktop, making a desktop app, and
Mhm.
then where do you download it from? Like the Windows App Store?
Yeah,
Do
Microsoft App
people do
Store
that? Do people
could be
like?
a
I,
could
I
be a
haven't owned a Windows computer in a while, so I like I know obviously on like a MacBook
Yeah,
there's the Mac, like not the iPhone App Store, but there's like a Mac App Store, right? So on Windows there's
yeah,
Windows App Store. Like how is that, like how is the Windows desktop app community going? Like is it a big community? Like
yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, definitely, because Windows has like pretty much all the desktop share or the
Yeah.
PC shares out there. But I have to say, as a Windows user for a very long time, I've been a Windows user probably since I was young. I use XP and then Vista. Vista, I would say, wasn't as bad as what people thought. People
I
said
used
it
all
was.
of that. I used
Um,
yeah.
Windows 7. Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. I no longer use Windows for the past like 3 or 4 years. Uh, but um, but I would say like the Windows ecosystem has been like really it's been a mess. It's like unfortunate because there are just so many like providers like software providers, so many like publishers. They have like all different ways of
Mm,
publishing their software. Right now, Microsoft is trying to like standardize it through the
right.
Microsoft Store, but still you would have to download it from the like internet. It's not like I'm not sure, have you used like
No, I
Linux
haven't.
before? Like on Linux, you just say like, oh, apt install Google Chrome, apt install Firefox apps. You just type stuff in the command line, and it has like a
Right.
universal package manager. It's not the same for Windows. If like that's one of the things like Flutter could be working on, just to have like a built-in
Mm,
updater, like your app could be easily updated, and having like a clear way to release on just on the
right.
Microsoft Store. I see there's like wiki pages right now, but I don't think it's like easy
Yeah.
enough compared to how easy Flutter itself is.